My name is Aiden Murphy, and today we'll be talking about firearms and whether or not they should be legal within the United States and the effects that they have on us as a nation. So although the foundations of America are built around the ideas of freedom, I believe that the idea is taken far too literally when it comes to the rights surrounding firearms. Guns are within the roots of this country, similar to the idea of manifest destiny and country music as a whole, but they are still a source of mass controversy and debate, causing over 15,000 deaths every year within the United States. So due to the mass violence that firearms are associated with, I think that eliminating all guns from the picture would be a healthy step in the right direction for the United States to take. But since it's a little bit of an unrealistic goal, I believe that eliminating fully automatic weapons with attachments that make it easier to mow down large groups of people would be a healthy step in the right direction. In this presentation, we're going to look at some shootings that have sparked changes within the United States. We're going to talk about some firearm statistics, and we're going to think about what we can change as a whole, maybe learning a little bit about other countries that have made changes along the way. So to start, I'd like to make note of a few very key moments in American history. The first one being Columbine, which happened in 1999. This was a shooting done by two students, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, who killed 12 other students and a teacher as well. According to a report done by History.com, the students used 2 shotguns and bombs. This shooting was so monumental and put school shootings on the map that we now use Columbine as a code for a shooting. So saying that a Columbine occurred would be the same as saying a school shooting has occurred. As a result of this shooting, the United States introduced policies to make schools a lot safer, which was definitely a good moment for us, but we're still not doing enough as a nation to combat school shootings. For example, Sandy Hook, which occurred 13 years later in 2012. CNN reports that the 20-year-old Adam Lanza killed 20 children aged 6 to 7 and 6 adult staffs as well. He used assault rifles, and even with that much destruction and devastation, the entire affair only lasted 11 minutes. This speech was monumental as Obama was the president, and he had the memorable quote, "We're going to have to come together and take meaningful action to prevent more tragedies like this, regardless of politics." This sparked a wave of tighter gun laws bipartisanly. Everybody was coming across the line to try to make changes happen. For example, in recent news, we're still seeing some effects of Sandy Hook. On March 14th, this year, 2019, we saw that the Connecticut Supreme Court is allowing for Remington, the company that made the guns that were used during that shooting, allowing that company to be sued. So we are starting to see some legislative action occurring even years after the incident. The last shooting that I'd like to mention is the Las Vegas shooting, which occurred in 2017 by the shooter Stephen Paddock. Reported by NPR, he personally killed 58 people, shooting out of his hotel room into a crowded concert. He wounded 422 people, and the panic that ensued after the incident brought the total wounded to 851 people. Over a dozen semi-automatic guns were legally modified to become automatic, so everything that occurred was legal, and this has been considered the worst gun massacre in modern history. So those are the shootings that I'd like to mention, not including the Orlando nightclub shooting, the Virginia Tech shooting, or several other school and church shootings that have occurred in recent United States history. With that being said, I'd like to point to some not mass shooting facts, but some firearm statistics that have been reported by the British Broadcasting Company. The United States has the highest rate of gun ownership in the world, followed by the highest amount of gun-related deaths in the world. Compared to other first world countries, we're also going to look at some other statistics by the BBC. The United States has 7 times higher of a homicide rate, has gun homicide ratings as 25 times higher, firearm suicide rate at 8 times higher. With that being said, unintentional firearm deaths are also 6 times higher. CNN posted a video back in 2016 of a 13-year-old boy who entered a gun show and walked away with a gun within minutes, all bought entirely legally. The camera crews laughed to see, and the employees laughed to see trying to go in and buy cigarettes or alcohol or things of that nature. Being a 13-year-old boy, they really just laughed in his face. No one's going to let you do that. But he legally walked into a gun show, and he was able to leave with a weapon very shortly after. So some of the changes that I'm proposing to combat these issues are eliminating automatic rifles in general. They're unnecessary, they're dangerous, and not needed. I'm going to point to an 8-year-old boy named Christopher as an example for this one. Christopher was taken to a shooting range with his father to shoot some guns, because why not? It's fun and American. Christopher was using an Uzi with a shoulder stock, so the stock pushed against his shoulder, and then when Christopher pulled the trigger to run with the gun or whatever he was doing with it, the recoil brought the gun straight up, and it resulted in his death as the bullets just were not cooperating with him. So eliminating automatic rifles as a whole will make it so that stupid mistakes like these aren't possible. Another thing that we could do to combat similar issues would be to get rid of attachments that can be applied to the weapons. So bump stock. 11 states have already banned bump stocks, but as a nation, we need to come together as a whole and agree on these changes as well. And then restricting magazine size as well, which 8 states have already done. And another change that we need to do is make it far harder for people to get guns, specifically people with mental illnesses. We need to implement background checks, and that will definitely decrease the amount of issues that we've been having with firearms recently. So the change that I'd like to point to that other countries have made is Australia. In 1997, they had one mass shooting, which resulted in a very large handful of deaths, and the country was not going to take it. They banned a very large assortment of semi-automatic weapons and pump-action shotguns. They had the citizens of Australia sell the shotguns and semi-automatic weapons back to the government, which totaled in about 660,000 guns. So basically the government bought the guns back from the people in order to get them off of the streets and out of people's houses. They just were not going to have it. So this change was pretty easy for them to make, and overall the gun deaths per capita in Australia are compared to the United States are 10 times lower out of every 100,000 people in the year 2015. As a result of this change, homicide and suicide rates also dropped, but this might have been pretty easy to do due to the strict handgun laws that were already in place in the country. And if we're looking to implement changes such as these in the United States, we're going to need a large shift in attitude towards guns as a whole. So in the end, trying to eliminate guns as a whole may be a little bit of an unrealistic goal, but limiting their use and availability is a good start to massively decreasing gun violence in the country.